this evening. We appreciate it. On behalf of Robin Will, back in the corner now, and Gail Fishman, Gail, who helped orchestrate and coordinate this event, I welcome all of you and we're glad that you're here. And specifically, the reason that we're here is to unveil our fourth order fren-el lens. And until about 6 months ago, this lens sat atop the St. Marsh Lighthouse, serving its function, guiding mariners. It's been there for 148 years. Wow. And 148 years will wear on anybody or anything. And so it needed some help. And our friends over at the Ponce de Leon Lighthouse Museum took that task on. They worked over the past 6 months, donated over 500 hours of painstaking, delicate work to restore this lens. And at this point, we're proud to show it to you. In a few minutes, we'll be recognizing some special guests, and I hope that they have some words to offer. We're thankful for all of you. This is quite a commitment to the Lighthouse and to this refuge. Thank you again for coming out. And Chris, if you would help me. Quite nice for 120 at Saturday Dangerous environment. And we're very honored this evening to have a couple of members of the Florida legislature that have taken their time. I think the legislature is still in session to come down and be with us. We're grateful for that. I'd like to offer them an opportunity to speak to us for a few minutes. And Senator Monfort, Senator Bill Monfort, if you would come up.
Thank you. Yeah, my co-host, come on up here. Representative Cheers and I here, we're partners. I don't know if you knew that he just punched me. He said, how did it feel to be 148 years old? I'm not quite there yet. But thank you for the opportunity for us to come down and be here with this. Really, can I touch it? Is that legal? No, you can't touch it. Well, I asked anyway.
What'd you get for asking?
Yeah, I know. Okay. But anyway, we're delighted to be a part of this. This is a really special day. And when I was walking up, I told someone, yeah, this is what Florida's all like. No offense to anybody in Florida, but this is what Florida's all about. And we were talking too, I think with Becky here, that this is, people use this for 148 years to find their way home. And that's about the best way you can say it. And then, it's really nice to know that our life here is back home. Back home for another 148 years to shine brightly and to be a part of this community. And we're just delighted to be, the state is, to be a part of this. And hopefully we'll be able to be a help to you in this, your efforts in years to come as well. But again, it's a delight to be here. We don't want to take a lot of time. I don't want to take a lot of time. A horse is bad to talk a lot.
Well, we got a routine, can't you? I will say this real quick, and Senator Mumford, I was pontificating on the way here. I was excited because they don't make anything that lasts that long anymore. You think about it, and so for us to be able to be part of this, we are both grateful for something as historical as this to be around. It just it's pretty special. So thank you very much for letting us be a part of this, being here tonight. So we're glad to be here and glad to help.
To tell you the truth, we're glad to get out of town.
This lighthouse, but the lighthouse is all over the state of Florida, and we owe you that gratitude for that. Thank you. I'd like at this point to present Secretary of State Ken Ditzner. And Ken says he's got a lighthouse story he wants to share.
Yeah, I want to share a story. I hadn't planned on saying anything, but first I want to recognize the senator and representative. We are very blessed here in this area to have these two gentlemen representing us. They do a fantastic job. For a lot of us all around this area. I wanted to introduce my wife, Mary Kay. She's from Jupiter, Florida, and so she has her own lighthouse, and I had mine. And I was telling her a story on the way down here. I did not plan to say anything, which is a blessing for you all. But I was telling her a story about this lighthouse and this lens on the way down here. And when I was a much younger man, about 35 years ago, I had my very first boat. I grew up in Chicago and always dreamed of having a boat and actually going out on these waters. And one Sunday afternoon in the winter, I was out fishing. It was late afternoon. A front was coming through. I only had a radio. And a compass. I didn't have Loran's. We didn't have GPS back then. And so I'm out fishing and doing great, wonderful, and I'm getting carried away with the excitement of the day. And I actually was a pretty good navigator, but I miscalculated my reading, and I ended up at Keaton Beach, and it was dark. And I'm like looking for the lighthouse. I'm going, no lighthouse, and all of a sudden I'm at Keaton Beach. I'm like, what do I do now? So I get on the radio. Chuck Shields is getting worried about me because he knows I'm a Yankee. I get on the radio. I call the Coast Guard, and there's this thing you can do by pressing your signal, and they can locate you. And they said, here's what you need to do. Take this compass heading and head due west at this degree, 340 degrees. I said, okay, I'll do it. They said, eventually, stay on that course, you'll find St. Mark's. So I left Keaton Beach. It was dark, it was very cold, and in my little well craft, made my way through, and it was the lighthouse. It was this lens that got me back home. And had it not been for this lighthouse and this lens, I might not be here today. So I'm really thankful for this lens, and thank you all for letting me share that.
At this point, I would like for Chris Weber, who's facilities manager for our refuge complex, and who is also the preservation committee chair for the Lighthouse, to say a few words.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you who did this work and make sure you realize that this is really a partnership. And the incredible work that was done by Ellen Henry. She's the curator of the Ponce Lens Museum, and 586 hours were spent on this. And they donated that time to us. The FLA grant allowed us to fund it, their transportation, but they donated all that time. And just getting this thing out of the lantern, we had to take it out a window. And because we looked around after we did an assessment, and we realized it's not going through any of the doors that are there. So Ring Power stepped up and donated the use of a man lift, which was huge. Not only that, but is Ted Gerald here today? Ted was instrumental in making all that happen. We could not have gotten the lens out of the lantern without that. They donated the lift, as well as a technician stayed with us all day. And that was just one of the sweat factors that were relieved at that time. And this is an awesome artifact, and we've got great partners, and thank you so much for coming out. If anybody here would like to go down to the lighthouse after this is over, I'd be more than happy to take you and show you around.
Awesome. Thank you, Brett.